We are introduced to a fearless young woman named Sasha. And the very first thing we see her doing is wrapping a bandage around her wounded hand inside a small tent perched somewhere on the side of an icy mountain. She wakes up her boyfriend Tommy, telling him they need to get moving before the storm catches up with them. Tommy agrees, but before they head out, Sasha takes one last look at the breathtaking view outside. A massive, towering, terrifying wall of rock called the Troll Wall. This is the kind of place where only the bravest or the most reckless climbers dare to go. And these two, they're both. They start their climb, working together, tied to the same rope. But halfway up, Sasha keeps slipping on the exact same spot. Tommy gently urges her to slow down, take it easy. The wind is picking up. The sky is turning gray. He warns her that a storm is moving in fast. But Sasha refuses to back down. She wants to push through. She wants that summit. Tommy, however, knows when something feels off. He insists they head back to the tent and wait it out. Later that night, back inside the tent, something deeper comes out. Tommy admits he doesn't know how many climbs he has left in him. He still loves her, he still loves the mountains, but he's tired of constantly chasing one extreme after another. He quotes an old climbing saying, "Luck," he tells her, "is like everything else you carry up a mountain. Eventually it runs out." Sasha tries to laugh it off, even teasing him about his lucky compass. But Tommy isn't joking. They eventually agree to wait out the storm and try again later. Sasha makes him promise that once the weather clears, they'll come back and conquer it together. He promises. But the universe, it turns out, has other plans. The next day, as they begin descending the mountain, the ground above them suddenly betrays them. Loose rocks start crashing down from the cliffs. Tommy yells at her to press flat against the wall and protect her head. In the chaos, he calls down to Sasha and asks if she's tied the knot for his rappel. And here is the moment that changes everything. Sasha, in a split second of panic, shouts back yes. But when she actually glances down at the rope in her hand, she hasn't tied it. Before she can fix the mistake, a massive rock slams into Tommy and knocks him unconscious. His full body weight suddenly drops on her hands. She holds him for as long as her strength allows. She screams for him to wake up. She begs. She pleads. But her arms are shaking. Her grip is slipping. And eventually, she has to make the most impossible choice a human being can make. She lets go. Tommy falls. And just like that, the love of her life is gone. 5 months later, we find Sasha thousands of miles away in Australia. This was Tommy's homeland, the place he always talked about. And she's traveled here to feel close to him one last time, and maybe, just maybe, to do something dangerous enough to silence the guilt eating her alive. Her plan is to kayak through a remote stretch of whitewater rapids called the Grand Isle Narrows. She's driving alone through the bush, trying to use her GPS, but there's no signal way out here. So she pulls out an old-fashioned paper map. When she finally reaches the ranger station, the officer there gives her a strange look and asks if she's really planning to do this alone. He warns her that people get lost in these woods all the time. He has her sign in so they can track where she's going. Sasha brushes off his concern and keeps moving. A little while later, she stops at a remote gas station to refuel and grab some snacks. Inside, things take an uncomfortable turn. A group of rough-looking local hunters notice her and start hitting on her. She tries to ignore them, but as she walks past, one of them actually slaps her on the backside. Just as it's about to escalate, a calm voice cuts in. This is where we meet Ben. Ben looks like every charming Australian outdoorsman you've ever seen in your life. Easy smile, friendly eyes, comfortable in his own skin. He gently steps in and tells the hunters to back off. Sasha doesn't ask for help and even makes that clear, telling him she can handle herself. Ben nods, respects it, and walks away. Before leaving the store, Sasha grabs a pack of beef jerky from a stack she notices nearby. The cashier had earlier mentioned that this jerky is selling like crazy. And get this, it's Ben's homemade jerky. Remember that detail. Keep it locked in your head, because what that jerky actually is, you are not ready for. Outside, Sasha is struggling to read her map, so she swallows her pride and asks Ben for directions. He offers her 2 options, the easy way or the hard way. She tells him she just wants the best way. So Ben directs her toward a place called Blackstone Bay, telling her she'll find an amazing camping spot by the river. She thanks him, rolls up her window, and drives off into the wilderness. That night, Sasha parks her van off the road, planning to camp. But guess who shows up? Yep, those same creepy hunters from the gas station. They roll up with their friends, drinking, dancing, and trying to invite her to their party. She locks herself inside the van and eventually drifts to sleep while they continue making noise outside. The next morning, she finally launches her kayak. And let me tell you, the cinematography of this movie is gorgeous. The rivers, the cliffs, the wildlife. Sasha glides through the rapids like a complete professional, finally arriving at Blackstone Bay. She pitches her tent, hangs her bag high up in a tree to keep it safe from animals, and breaks open the beef jerky she bought. She actually loves it, better than she expected. But the next morning, when she crawls out of her tent, something is wrong. Her bag is gone, completely gone. And when she turns to head back in her tent, there's a snake curled up inside hissing at her. She backs away slowly, gets in her kayak, and starts paddling. That's when she spots another canoe on the water. A blue one. Curious, she follows it deeper into the trees and ends up on a small piece of land where she comes face to face with Ben, the friendly guy from the gas station. He smiles and acts excited to see her, joking that she actually made it. Sasha tells him about her bag being stolen, and Ben laughs, blaming the local wombats. He invites her to sit while he makes her breakfast. They start chatting. Ben tells her his jerky is named after his mother, Jeno. Sasha jokes that his mother must love that. But for just a second, his face changes. Something flickers behind his eyes. Then he smiles again and moves on. Ben tells her he basically lives in the wild, that if he doesn't get out on the river at least once or twice a week, he physically aches. He says he's actually British, not Australian, that his mother brought him here when he was a kid. Then he tells her something that should have set off every alarm in Sasha's body. He says, "I already know about you." He casually mentions her love of mountains and danger. He guesses that her boyfriend stayed up in the mountains while she moved on to rivers. Sasha tells him she's done with mountains. The conversation gets quiet. Then Sasha mentions the hunters from the gas station, and Ben says she handled herself perfectly. She asks how he could possibly know, and he answers, "I was there." He had been watching, waiting. He says he thought maybe she could use a hand, since she's a woman traveling alone. But she clearly didn't need him. And then he adds something even more chilling. He says he knew she was special the moment he saw her, just like his mother. That's the moment Sasha realizes she needs to leave. She tells him she should get going. But as she turns, her eyes land on something he's wearing. A bracelet. Tommy's bracelet. The bracelet that should still be with her gear. Ben follows her gaze, smiles, tells her he liked it. He casually tosses her stolen bag at her feet. Then he steps out holding a crossbow and a small speaker. He presses play on a song, and he tells her, sweet as ever, that she has until the song ends to run as far away as she can. This isn't a mistake. This isn't a misunderstanding. Ben is a hunter, and Sasha is the prey. She grabs the bag and runs. She reaches her kayak and pushes off into the rapids, paddling for her life. The water tosses her around. She slams her head against a rock. Her kayak drifts away without her. She pulls herself onto the bank, soaked, bleeding, and barely conscious. Suddenly, she hears voices nearby. People. Other campers. She runs toward the sound, calling for help. But it's a trap. The voices are coming from a recording. A crossbow bolt slices past her face. Then another one hits her in the leg. She keeps running anyway, adrenaline keeping her alive. Another bolt smashes into her backpack. She tumbles down the slope, lands back in the river, and the current rips her deep into a narrow rocky gorge. When she finally pulls herself out, she takes stock. Her phone is broken. Her leg is wounded. She still has her pepper spray, though. She climbs upward and uses binoculars to scan the area. She sees Ben in the distance. She ducks. When she looks again, he's looking right at her, smiling. She decides to make a move. She sneaks toward his canoe, hoping to steal it and escape. But as she's untying the rope, her foot snaps right into a hidden bear trap. The pain is unimaginable. Ben comes running, laughing like a madman. He drags her by the chain, but Sasha thinks fast and blasts him in the face with the pepper spray. He frees her from the trap, but he also catches her again. And when she screams at him asking if this is all some kind of sick game, he calmly tells her no, this isn't a game. This is a ritual. That word, ritual, should send chills down your spine. Later that night, Ben begins talking like a man teaching a class. He tells Sasha that rituals are sacred, that they ground people, that some tribes file their teeth into sharp points as a rite of passage, that enduring pain is part of growing up. He brings up Tommy. He brings up the troll wall. He says he read everything online about her, about Tommy, about how experienced Tommy was. He doesn't believe it was an accident. The next morning, he leads her deeper into the bush. She spots a metal hook nearby, something she could grab as a weapon. But he notices and shoves her right back into the river. Eventually, they reach a cave system. He gives her a harness and tells her they need to climb down. And what she sees next will haunt you forever. Bodies, dozens of them, hanging from the cave ceiling, decaying, preserved, like meat in a butcher shop. Ben starts explaining, almost gently, that some tribes believe you can capture the spirit of your prey by consuming its liver. And that's when Sasha realizes what's been happening this whole entire time. The beef jerky. The famous, popular, locally loved beef jerky. It's not beef. It's people. Ben has been killing campers, kayakers, and tourists for years. He turns them into jerky. He even ships it out for sale. The cashier at the gas station has no idea. The customers eating it have no idea. Ben has been hiding in plain sight as the friendliest, sweetest, most helpful guy in the bush. Sasha tries to talk her way out of it. She tells him she can sense something terrible happened to him as a child. He pauses. For a moment, he seems almost human again. Then he shows her his teeth. He's filed them into sharp little points, just like the tribes he talked about. He hoists her up by her arms and ties her in place. He opens a container of his special homemade salt brine, the kind he uses to cure his jerky. Sasha spots a photograph nearby and asks if the woman in it is his mother. Ben softly says yes. He whispers that his mother used to say, "Gino loves Bino." And in this gentle, almost loving voice, he tells Sasha that his mother was special because she was his first kill. Now she's always with him, and he's going to keep Sasha with him forever, too. He moves in to hug her. Sasha bites his ear off. He stumbles back screaming. She breaks free and dives into the river. Ben chases her into the water. The current drags them both toward a waterfall. Ben gets knocked unconscious, and his rope catches on a branch. Sasha could let him die right there. Easy. Done. But her own rope is tangled too, and she has no choice but to free his rope so she can free herself. He wakes up. Of course he does. He strangles her. Her vision starts blurring. She is seconds from death. And then suddenly, he lets go. She grabs a rock and shatters his leg with one savage hit. He retaliates by breaking her nose. They are both now broken, bloody, and far from civilization. But Sasha is the smart one here. She tells him the only way either of them survives is if they climb back up to the top together. Just like she climbed mountains with Tommy. A tandem climb. She'll teach him how to rig his good leg and use a makeshift harness. He agrees. But he warns her, if she tries anything funny, he'll yank her off the wall and they'll both die. They begin the climb. Halfway up, Sasha tries to mess with his harness. He notices instantly and yanks her down. She climbs again. He keeps asking her questions about Tommy, about what it looked like when he fell, about whether it looked like he was flying. Finally, she reaches a ledge just out of his sight, and she gets to work. She quietly ties his rope to a small tree branch. She loosens his harness from a distance. Ben senses something is happening and tries to pull her down. But this time, only the empty harness comes off. He's still attached, hanging only by the rope tied to the branch. Sasha unties the rope. Ben falls, all the way down, to the same fate he gave to every single one of his victims. Alone now, exhausted and broken, Sasha climbs the rest of the wall by herself. The same kind of wall that took Tommy from her. Only this time, she doesn't slip. This time, she makes it. A passing camper finds her wandering and gives her a ride back. She returns to the ranger station and tells them everything. The news breaks across Australia. Authorities recover more than 20 bodies from the cave. Families who have been searching for missing loved ones for years finally get the truth. A killer the world thought was just rugged wilderness or bad luck turned out to be one single man with a smile and a homemade jerky business. At the very end of the movie, we see Sasha standing on a beautiful beach. The same kind of horizon Tommy always loved. She holds his lucky compass in her hand. The compass she used to tease him about. The compass that didn't save him. And without saying a word, she throws it into the ocean and walks away. She is finally free. From Ben. From the guilt. From the past. From the mountains.